Colonel Wanda Wright is the former director of the Arizona Department of Veterans Services and a 21-year veteran of the Arizona National Guard. She currently serves as the director of ASU's Office for Veteran and Military Academic Engagement, Colonel Wright was recently inducted into the Arizona Veterans Hall of Fame Society for her contributions to the state's veteran community. And tonight we welcome back to Arizona her, because you've been on a number of times,
Yes.
Colonel Wright. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Ted, for having me today. I really appreciate it.
You betcha. Inducted to the Arizona Veterans Hall of Fame Society.
Yes.
How's that make you feel?
It was such an honor to receive the nomination, first of all, and then to actually get the award. Is just the pride I felt that day was just overwhelming.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And this is, again, for veterans honored for their work outside of military service.
Outside. So you served in the military, and then if you've done something after the military that's of significance to help the community, doesn't have to be veterans, it's
Yes.
community, someone can nominate you for the honor. And it goes through a whole process. The nominations end in March, and in October they have the actual ceremony to acknowledge all the new inductees.
Yeah, and you were there. The society itself talk to us about that, kind of a leading advocate for Arizona veterans?
It really is. Pat Upa is the president of the society, and they do great work in veteran court. They advocate for the state veteran homes, and a number of other veteran challenges that they work on to try to help veterans in the state of Arizona.
Now, let's talk about you.
Sure.
You work locally, nationally, for vets in a variety of ways. As I mentioned, we've had you on the show numerous times because you're always busy out there. What gets you going? What gets you doing this? Because that's a lot of work, that's a lot of effort.
Well, it's veterans.
Yes.
Right? They are the joy of my life. Right now I'm dealing with student veterans because now I'm at Arizona State University, and I have a lot of joy with that as well. We have a new course called Applied Military and Veteran Studies, so we can teach veterans and civilians about veterans and military service members. And, you know, it is such a great way to live your life as a public servant.
It certainly sounds like it. And you've talked about, we talk about suicide and getting
Yes.
back into the swing of things from a variety of issues regarding veterans. But the suicide issue just seems like it doesn't go away. Talk about your efforts there, your work there, and where we're headed with this.
So I think it is still an issue, obviously, and it has been an issue for a long time. And the state of Arizona is doing a lot of work around suicide prevention. One of the things that they're working on is mortality review. And so now we're looking at every death, every single death that has happened in the state, to review them to see if they were veterans. So we have a good understanding of actually how many veterans have died by suicide in the state of Arizona. Then we can go back and do forensic work on why, and then use that to create strategies to help prevent it in the future.
Yeah, and I know some of the issues involve transitioning out of the military into civilian life. And again, we've talked to you a lot about that. Are those still, is that getting any easier for veterans?
I feel like at least there's programs to try to help it be easier, but
Yeah.
it's just tough. It's tough to transition. When you've been in one institution, you come out of it, and now you're trying to navigate the world. It's difficult. And so I always challenge everyone to support veterans any way they can. If they're your neighbor, if you work with them, if you're, you have children who you're teaching who are dependents of military service members, help in any way that you can.
Getting the needed care and assistance for veterans.
Yes.
A, how difficult is it? And B, is it getting better?
It is getting better. The VA is doing a good job, I think. It's still difficult to navigate sometimes, especially if you have multiple illnesses. And so that gets a little complicated sometimes. And if you have to be sent outside of the VA, that can also get a little complicated.
Indeed, and employment efforts, just straight
Yes.
employment. We talked about transitioning, but
Yes.
just getting a job and fitting in.
Yes, it's still difficult. I think a lot of military service members transition into education for that very reason. They feel like they need to get re-educated and re-skilled. particularly cybersecurity, because that's the next big thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We have a lot of chip manufacturers here now, and so that's sort of a new trend. And so many are going back into education. And we have programs to help those who want to transition into employment right away. And I think it is getting better.
We'd be remiss if I didn't mention first African-American woman to become a colonel in the Arizona National Guard.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel?
I've had a great life, Ted.
Yeah,
I just have to
it sure
say.
sounds like it.
Yeah. Great family. You know, I grew up and had great mentors in my family. My mom and dad are just special people. And just being able to live in the military, and I loved the military when I was in it, and then getting out, and I was a vice principal for a school for a few years, and then I became the director for 8 years, which was the best job I ever had.
Yeah.
And now I'm at ASU helping student veterans.
Yeah, and when you hear that, when you hear about the Hall of Fame Society, 21 years of service and all this kind of stuff, when you look back, I mean, do you allow yourself to look back, or are you
I
always,
forge forward pretty hard.
I was going to say, you seem like you don't do too much of that. You do a lot of forward thinking.
I do. I am a strategist by heart. Yes.
Yeah.
But I do reflect, especially with my father, who was a Vietnam veteran. He's also Colonel Wright, so I'm Colonel Wright Jr.
I see.
Yes.
I see.
And we talk about, you know, how he was so successful during civil rights time,
Yes.
right? And how standing on his shoulders made it so much easier for me.
Well, Colonel Wanda Wright, it's a great career. Keep it going. You're not slowing down a bit, as far as I can tell. Congratulations, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Ted.